Deborah, with her 30 years of being an entrepreneur and creating over 7 companies, knows exactly what it means to accept the mission. When you make that decision, when you accept the mission to become a solopreneur, to take yourself and your talents to market, then you embrace a life of not only unlimited possibilities, but also the unknown. It's an elixir of fear and bravery that only someone who's taken the leap really understands. On our show, Deb digs deep with her guests to highlight what you, the listener, wants to know. The stories, the whys, and the hows to navigate the journey to success. Get ready to hear from some of the most incredible mission takers from Generation Z to Boomers. So sit up, perk up, and get ready to be blown away. Now here is your host, Deborah Drummond.
Hey, welcome back to Mission Accepted. We have some rock stars in the house for you today. I am over the top excited. And look, you guys, we are kicking off this new year with a bundle. This is the best Black Friday, Boxing Day sale on entrepreneurship that you've ever seen. Look, I know that you know these ladies because these ladies rocked it out on the planner launch that you came to. And if you haven't, if you want to hear more from them individually, just go over to my YouTube channel because we have it there. Just look for the planner launch and these guys go in depth about their areas of expertise. But look, I couldn't think of having a better crew show up to kick off some very important things about 2023. I know you're entrepreneurs. I know you're listening. Thank you so much. I check my analytics all the time, as I should. It is incredible, the countries that keep flipping from like number 1, number 2, number 3. I'm like, you guys are really, thank you so much. I know it comes from sharing. And the comments that I get back and what you guys want to hear, I'm just so super proud and so super happy to be able to produce something that helps platform other people. I know some of you are here listening to the stories. You love to be inspired and motivated about the level of positivity and the collaboration that happens. So look, whether you're listening or you're watching, turn it up, turn the volume up, because you want to hear these gem drops. That is the best thing that happens in these podcasts is the gem drops. And look, in the show notes, we're very good at that. In the show notes, you're going to see everybody's link and how to get in touch with everybody. But again, go to the planner launch in YouTube and you're going to hear them talk for, a longer time solo. So I've gathered these incredible people as we go into 2023, because you know what? For those of you that have been entrepreneurs for a while, it's been an interesting twist. It's really been an interesting twist. We've had to really change many different things about what we think and how we do business. If you've come into business, you're a new entrepreneur in this last, time, the last 2 or 3 years, where you kind of come in on a funky model. 2023 is very interesting because everything I read, everyone I talk to, it is almost like the year of stability. It's the year of stability. We've gone through some stuff. We're stable with that stuff. We're getting comfortable with the new way of doing business. We're integrating and collaborating like we have never have before. You've never seen this level of collaboration and integrating some of the old ways that are still fantastic. I teach my son a handshake. A handshake should be as golden as a signature on a piece of paper. So clearly I'm a little bit older than $29.95. That's my new thing. People ask, how old are you? I'm like $29.95. We figured at $29.95 American shipping, taxes, and handling. That's how old I am. Okay. And now this whole new paradigm. So I have gathered these women, and one of the first questions that I'm going to ask them is about that change. And I'm going to ask them their advice on how they have stayed personally stable. Like, what are they doing to prepare for the endurance of having such a successful year next year? And then we're going to dig deeper and we're going to ask them the number one thing that they think people should do in their business, no matter what that business is, to achieve the highest level of success. And these are the people that you want to hear from. So look, let's do a little bit of a round robin, you guys. Let's talk about what it is that you do for yourself. How do you fill your cup up? How do you prepare for a new year? How do you lay out your strategy? From not only a business standpoint, but from that personal standpoint. Our businesses pretty well bleed into our lives. This is the world of an entrepreneur. So how do you prepare for that? So, hey, Angel, do you want to kick us off?
Do you want me to answer all the question, or do you want me to just do an introduction? Just
Well,
round
you know
robin?
what? Do an introduction of yourself, and then let's just answer that first question. Let's do a round robin about this personal stability and strategy for this great year ahead. And then we'll round robin with you guys so you can talk about your number one thing you think people need to do this year. So I'm going to let you introduce yourself, and then let's take it from there.
I love it. I love it. Well, Deb, thanks so much for having us and bringing us all back together. I can't believe I get to be on stage with all of these rock stars, this virtual stage with the number one leader in top performance success, and that is you, Deb, and super excited to be a part of all of it. I'm Angel Tuccy. They call me a media matchmaker. I teach authors and entrepreneurs how to leverage the power of media, create guaranteed media exposure, leveraging the power of press releases, media interviews, and publicity. And I think the stability really comes from my community. Right? The community of rock stars that I get to be around with, that I get to play with, mastermind with, brainstorm with. If it wasn't for the community that I was held accountable to, that I was showing up for every day, I'm certain I would not have this joyful outlook on coming up in 2023. So I'm going to say the stability comes from the people I hang out with.
Awesome. Okay, guys, that's called a gem drop. Who you hanging with? Catharine, the quiz queen, please share with us who you are and answer the same question.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Deb, for having me on. And wow, 2023, it's going to be interesting. So I'm Catharine O'Leary. I help entrepreneurs to generate higher quality leads, and so triple their leads and double their sales by asking the best questions and starting conversations with those questions to bring people into your community and to your process. Stability. I think that the best way to handle the last kind of 6 months, as well as going forward, is get comfortable with change, because we are not through it yet. There's still a lot of disruption that's probably going to come, but with that, there's going to be a lot of opportunities. So I would actually say that the stability comes in the flexibility.
Ooh, okay. Someone make that t-shirt, hashtag, right? That's great. Okay, someone write that down. I can't write that down because someone write that down. Thank you so much, Catharine. So again, another gem drop. And Zondra.
Well, hi there. I echo what Angel had to say. Thank you, Deb, so much for being here. And of course, you are a rock star, mission accepted media woman. And so this is awesome. But I am Zondra Evans. I'm the founder and CEO of Zondra TV Network in Dallas, Texas. I could answer this in so many ways. Both of y'all done took one of my answers, like flexibility. But, I really do believe that one of the things that's critically important to stabilizing your business is knowing what you should be doing. I always say that you have to look at the efficacy of what you're doing. And so what better time is right now to look at the efficacy of what you're doing. And sometimes you need to divest in a few things in order to be able to really stand up your business and move forward. And then the second thing is, why have to build everything? Brand extension is a reality. Extend your brands to the right brands in order to give you that lift in business. So that's what I think.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Zondra. And Zondra TV Network. I mean, this woman just really powerhouse. Melanie, please share how, as we go into 2023, again, we're talking about, what is it that we do for ourselves personally? What is that personal technique or tip or, for me, a lot of journal writing, whatever it is that allows you to stay personally stable to endure what success you're going to be bringing into your business this year.
Thanks, Deb, for having me on your podcast. You're such an amazing person to all of your tribe. So I'm so happy to be here and happy that you included me in showcasing us to your tribe. So I say that entrepreneurship isn't a job, it's a mindset, right? It's a mindset around wanting to innovate and change the world. And everybody, one single person, can change the world. And so what we do is we enable those change makers to make their change in the world by making technology accessible so you can serve more while working less. So that's what we do. And how I fill my cup every day is to just find joy and make the choice to be happy in the moment, through either meditation, exercising, making sure I have those outlets, and then just giving gratitude to the people that I really appreciate in my life, and choosing joy over anything else.
Awesome. Okay, you guys heard that. Choosing. When Melanie was talking, I heard the word choose and choice a lot. So she's a big believer in we're able to change our state. And if you know anything about people that either live top performance or high achievement or what have you, being able to change your state can really happen. And Susan Kerby, our next speaker, knows exactly about that, because she teaches people how to go from, oh my God, I don't want to go on stage and I want to throw up, to performing lovely on the stage.
Exactly.
So Susan, please share with us your personal tips for this, your personal strength and endurance for what you're about to, happen in 2023.
Yes, thank you. And your title, Mission Accepted, is so on point. And I want to thank you for having us all be able to step into our missions even greater. And that piece of my business is awakened to your calling. And it's right in that piece of you really stepping into being who you're born to be, not who we've all trained ourselves to be. And that applies both on stage, right, as well as in our personal lives. So what I do, I love that in the end of the year, listing down what I've accomplished, what I failed to accomplish, like the things that you wished you had accomplished that you didn't, like to actually complete the year, right? Where you actually say, I did this well. What I learned from the year is this. And then you can, from there, I take that forward into what am I going to do next year, right? Because otherwise, January 1st seems like it was just a run-on sentence from December 31st. Like there's no punctuation, right? So it's that piece of stopping and inventing. And what I notice is I fully believe that our words create our reality. And when I say it's hard or I'm not going to do, then it's going to go that way. So I love in my creating the year to see that part where I just say what I want. And I forget the part about how am I supposed to make that happen, because that part just gets in the way of my saying what I want. And I love the phrase, okay, God, I can't wait to see how you get this one to turn out, because it leaves the room for the miracles. So I always say what you want and leave the room for the miracles, because when you speak your truth, miracles will find you. So
awesome. Thank you, Susan. I love it.
Thank
Okay,
you.
Natasha. Natasha is our holistic lady, and she does a lot of beautiful things, I know, to keep herself in a state of endurance. So Natasha, please take yourself off mute and join us.
Thanks, Deb. So wonderful. I love all of the little tidbits of gold nuggets that we've gotten so far. Melanie and I seem to be really a lot in alignment about mindset, and a little bit about what I offer is retreats, courses, and it's all about changing that mindset. And it is about allowing you to have that space to change your trajectory to that life that you want, when you know you want to get more from your life, and you almost need permission sometimes to make those steps forward. And helping folks see the things that they need holistically through their life, whether it is, like Melanie was saying, through your health, through your movement, through your meditation. And that's kind of my wheelhouse as well. And so for me personally, I do need community with, these amazing women who are here today as well, but even podcasts, books, those things that help us. But one thing that really grounds me the most, that helps me stay where I need to be, is my meditation practice. And in Ayurveda, what I offer in yoga, meditation is our first and last medicine. And it really does help me find the thing that I need to do, or know what I need to do, or get the answer that I need to get in silence, because that's when it comes to me. So that's where I can move forward, and I know the way that I need to go.
Awesome. Okay, you guys. So what you've heard from some incredible masters in their field is what they do personally to stay and prepare for what we know that you want. Look, our audience is full of entrepreneurs and entrepreneurs. And if you don't know what an entrepreneur is, it's an entrepreneur that can't say no. It's like, sure, okay. The optimism and media, people that are in media like Zondra, there's people that are, self-funded in this incredible new world of media that has opened up. And then creatives, singers and dancers and authors and journalists and sculptors. And we all have that mission. We've all had a calling, and we know what it's like to self-fund. We know what it's like to self-fund. And we know that if we can get some shortcuts, or that's why we hang out with coaches. That's why, Angel was saying who she surrounds herself with. If we can kind of cut the pain and cut the time, yay, power to that. So we are going to ask this incredible group again, in terms of your business for 2023, what do you believe that people need to know, or that they should at least very much explore to achieve the highest level of success in their business, no matter what your sector is? So if you could share with us that tidbit and help move the needle, then we'd be so grateful. So let's just do the same deal. Angel, let's start with you.
All right. So I actually just did an exercise this morning. I use a personal goal setting app called ULA. And they talk about, of course, setting goals every single day or taking action every single day towards your top goals. But what was interesting about today's lesson is, and Susan kind of referred a little bit to this, is we look at our goals and we tend to edit them. Like, what did I do? What would I do different? What would I change about it? How do I want to change, tweak that and moving into 2023? Well, they had us do something very bold. And that was scrap all of your goals and take a clean piece of paper out and start from scratch. What do you really want today moving forward? Because so often we bring kind of old paradigms, old ideas, maybe things that we've carried on, year after year of, I think someday I'm going to do that. And they're like, just start with a clean piece of paper from scratch today, who you are, where you're at, the season of life that you're in. What do you truly want? What do you truly want that to be? What do you truly want to accomplish in this next year? And to create your goals, or what I like to say is create your headlines, your business headlines based on those 12 mini goals. So if you were to think about next year, really a clean piece of paper from scratch, the juiciest, most exciting thing that lights you up that you really want to accomplish. And of course, we become obsessed, right? Become obsessed with what you want because we get what we think about most of the time. And if we can create these quarterly goals, these quarterly ideas, building our business out one quarter at a time, and what milestone, what achievement, and write that headline as if it's really true, right? Extra, read all about it, right? I'm a best-selling author. I've got this many clients. I've hit this milestone. I'm seen on 7 digital streaming platforms. I've got a book. I've got a course. I'm speaking on stages. Write those headlines as if they are true, one for every single month of the year, and let the how figure it out, right? Like today, let's just dream. Put it out there. Let the universe, right? When you show up and you truly have faith and you take action, the universe shows up to support you, to guide you. And like Susan says, the miracle happens in the middle. So with a clean sheet of paper, let's create those 12 headlines of what you want to accomplish in 2023.
Awesome. Thank you. Yay. You guys got some homework. Catherine.
I'm going to follow up to Angel. It's very similar exercise, but don't do it from December 30th, 2022. Do it from December 30th, 2023, and look backwards and write it as if it's happened, and write it as if you've already lived it. And how do you feel in that moment, in that space? How do you feel with those, that best-selling book, that, the TV streaming, the podcast, all the accolades, all the successes? Like, write down the successes that, and feel into those, and then let the how figure it out and back itself out. So it's a similar exercise, but more future casting, and kind of look back on your year of 2023. And then again, just there's still disruption probably coming, and it's super exciting. Be super curious and super exciting. Ask a lot of questions, because it's like the things are still going to go upside down. That's where the opportunities are going to be. So just really be open to thinking about things in a totally new way, because they're probably going to come out really different.
Awesome. Whoa, there was a number of gemstones in there. So the number one thing that I heard in there is really about that, not only that flexibility, but reverse engineering, which is my favorite thing. That's the whole planner, is reverse engineering. And I've done that, Catherine, and it's been so incredible to write as if it's already here. And then I've actually audioed it to myself, and I've actually listened to myself talk about the success in past tense. That's so cool. Thank you for that reminder. And Zondra, oh my gosh, Zondra, you are a woman of the future. What things people should be doing in their business to have the highest level of success?
Oh, Deb, I tell you, I hate to stay on my soapbox, but I'm gonna go ahead and ride it on another year. That I really am passionate about needing to create a digital footprint for yourself, and that you need a digital strategy. Now, at the end of the day, yes, 2020 served us a pandemic that we had never saw before, but I do believe that there will be another and another that will happen. And I really am a small business advocate. And because I believe in the power of creating that digital footprint and landscape. So you got to have strategy. Now, you need a strategy. Now, most people don't know what to do, but I had somebody that I met with just the other day, and they were like, I don't even know where to start with trying to get my digital footprint together. I need your help. It's everything, all the things that you need, because guess what? Google is the source of, are you anybody or not? And so if you don't feed Google, what will happen to you? But the only way to do that is to have a digital strategy. So I'm really keen on you got to do that and have it really firm. But I have to tell you one more thing, and that is, I'm a corporate girl. I come from corporate America 40 years. And in my opinion, you need a good forecast. And so you've got to do your projections and your forecasts. And it can't be like, next year, I want to make $100,000. No, that's not it. I'm talking about month to month, so that you can evaluate how well the programs that you're potentially saying will deliver that kind of income, how well are they functioning? And so I think you got to break it down to month, not to year. So that's it.
Thank you. Thank you. And again, Zondra TV Network, she's part of the future. It's like, you know what? Who would have said 2 years ago, oh, I'd like to have my own TV show, and be able to call someone and go, great, we can line that up for you. Come on over. Right? Okay. Melanie.
Listen, being an entrepreneur is hard. There is an abundance of information out there, and you don't always know what direction to go in, who to listen to, who to trust, all of those things. So when, to piggyback on both Angel and Catherine, when you're setting your goals, think about setting them from the perspective of, who do I want to be? How do I want to show up in the world? What change do I want to make? So that way, if there's negativity, or if there's overwhelm, or if there's anything coming at you, that's not going to change your mindset. You can still make the choice to be happy, because you're in control of your own experiences. And then from a practicality perspective, all entrepreneurs want more money. And so how to protect yourself in a world of change is to diversify, right? Is to just diversify, so that if some lane goes away one day, you have 5 others to back you up. And knowing that you don't need everything on day one. So pace yourself. Everything is in proportion to where you are in business. So just think strategically, as Zondra said.
That's awesome. Thank you so much. I mean, I think that's, we're hearing things like entrepreneurs, and a very good friend of mine, my webmaster, he's like, oh no, you're a potentialite. Like there's all these new terms for people that are breaking out of that one stream of income. And I think, like you said, coming out of these last few years, that diversification, if something does leave a revenue stream, or it's just not as prominent in the marketplace, that you have other streams. And I love that we are in a, you know, in that process. Thank you so much. And Susan, please share.
Oh, thank you again. This is that piece of strategy, Zondra. I have to give you one of the quotes I love using is I think it's a Vince Lombardi quote. It says, "Hope is not a strategy." And that piece of, I'm always like, I hope so. And it's like, no, that is not a strategy. So there's that difference between the dreaming and the hoping, right? There is part of it where you have to put into strategy. And what I've noticed for my own self, and I've been in business 10 years, is I was always one of those, I've been in business a lot longer. That's just this particular business, but I was always one who wanted to kind of buy my way to the top. Like I can skip that step and do this. And if I do this, I can get along that way. But if you don't actually build the ladder rung by rung, it's a lot harder to have other people follow you up the ladder, right? You know, like if you are attracting your clients or whatever, if you don't have an actual scale for that or something for them to climb. Angel, I love her analogy. She talks about your sales castle, and you want to attract people into your sales castle. And then the last time we were on this call, Melanie talked about the ghosts hiding in your sales castle because they never quite made it out of the sales castle. And so that piece of, I've actually been working with Melanie and Angel, and I've worked with Zondra and Catherine, and haven't yet gotten to work with Natasha's, but it's that piece of, for me, it's having the right team so that I may not be the one to build the ladder. I just want to be on the top of the ladder. That doesn't mean I don't need a ladder or I don't need a staircase or whatever you want to call it. So to hire Melanie to help me fill in the blanks of what I'm missing, to hire Angel to help me get out there, to be on Zondra TV, to have Catherine figure out which questions I should be on. And it's all of that piece of community you started with, Deborah, and being willing to be humble enough to say, I didn't get that right the first time. And let me let you be the expert in that area. And then, because your expertise is what I want you speaking about, but as an entrepreneur, you got to have a lot of other expertise or you'll never make it. So get the right team so you can go speak your truth and have your people find you. But if you don't have everything else built below you, when the pandemic comes, you go, oh, instead of, oh, I got a team, we'll figure this out.
Fantastic. I was just sharing, actually, I was on someone else's podcast. Susan, thank you for that. And they were like, what's the one thing you want to leave people with? And I'm like, I just want them to feel that if I'm on their team, I got their back. And as someone who's been entrepreneurial, I remember I asked in a company that I participate in, I was asking, the owner of the company, it's $1 billion company. I'm like, so this whole getting to the top thing. And he's like, it is lonely, Deb. It is lonely. And so I remember in that moment, one of the things that made me feel the best to move forward and make me feel best to be my best in my life is who's behind me. And I just love the fact, because there's been a huge allowance now, of I don't know and I don't want to. And I can hire that out. And I was just sharing that, honestly, I've been a coach, trainer, but I have been under the guise of a coach and trainer probably as long as I've been in business. And I think it's really important to unlock that key to allow people to not be flooded, like what Melanie was talking about, and have experts in that area. So look for the experts that you need to fill to be in your business for 2023. That's fantastic. Natasha.
Yeah, thanks. I was going to actually mention something along the lines of what you just said, Deb. I wanted to say two things, and one along the lines that you were going with is, we've put in the time for our special gift that we want to offer. And we've put in hours and hours of education for that. And there are things that we don't know. And the things that we don't know are still important to move our business forward. And we either need to put the time in to know the things that we don't know, spend time, if it's financial, if it's PR, if it's marketing. If that's not your thing, you need to actually start to put in the time to get to know what that is, or, match up with these great, beautiful people that can help you learn so that you can get those extra steps, because you already know what you know. You're offering your gift and you want to offer that gift. And sometimes you feel like you just can't. So you either have to put that time in so that you can, and, find the right people. And the second thing I wanted to say just quickly is something that can help us stay on track is really understanding your why. And that's a really important one for me, is sometimes we can lose track if we haven't really dug down into that why question. And so really think about your why. If you haven't done all of that digging inside, in Ayurveda and yoga, we talk about the root cause. What is the real reason under everything else of why this is manifesting? And so what is your heart saying? What does your heart want to do? Who does your heart want to help? What is your why? And if you can remember that in those really tough times this year, that's going to help you really be successful and not give up and keep going and wake up the next day ready to take on the world.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for that reminder, that root cause. I love that. I love that. Look, you guys, we are launching this podcast of gem drops in the beginning of the year. If you know anything about how I do podcasts, this podcast will be seen at the beginning of the year, 3 months after that, 6 months after that. It's all over every social media platform. It's now being streamed, I think, on 7 TV streams. This podcast is getting out there. If it is not January 2023, when you're listening to this advice is timeless. It's timeless. Your business is timeless. No one's going to wake up January 1st with every concept, everything, every strategy for the full year. You could be listening to this at the end of 2023. Gosh knows it's going to be spiraling out there in, content land, like it should. And whenever this lands on you, whenever you're inspired to open this, it will be the time that you hear something these powerhouses has just said. That's how the universe works. That's how it happens. That podcast pops into, yes, I know there's analytics. And if you're Googling for, to go to a place to Jamaica, you're going to get a lot of offers Jamaica. Ooh, look at that. That's surprising. Not surprising. But when it comes to something like this, when there's a message you need to hear, you're going to hear it. So if you need to listen to this again to hear which drop it was for you, then do it. Or just reach out to that person and go, you said something that made me think, period. You said something that made me go, oh, I want to know more, and connect with that person. That is exactly what Angel was talking about. How do you think our tribes get built? Who do we know is going to be our best business partner this year? We may not have met them yet. And you might, like I said, be listening to this in 2024. Doesn't matter. So whenever you hear this is the time that you're meant to hear it, straight up. So look, I have said it over and over again that you guys are just the best audience ever. Look at Missions Accepted mission is to do exactly this. Bring people onto the show that give value, give heart, give inspiration, give ideas for you to be able to go out there and platform. If you want to be on Mission Accepted, you know where to find me. This is not difficult. It's debit.com, and podcast now spread everywhere. I mean, honestly, it's going to be 2 million impressions in LinkedIn. I mean, that's what, when you listen to Angel talk about other people's audiences, that's what happens when you get onto other people's audiences. So if you feel you've got something to share and you want to share it, you know how to reach out. Look, there's a couple of things that we have put into place for you. All of these ladies offers for you. So reach out. You're going to go into the show notes and do that. So they've got gifts for you, as well as, you guys know, innovative marketing class. It is complimentary for the first 3 months of this year. We've got, I call it profit calling. I am no longer teaching follow-up. Glory, hallelujah, because every time I say follow-up, people go, I don't do that enough. And you have this, what Natasha would say and Melanie would say, is you have this mindset thing. I don't do it enough. I'm not, So look at, I believe, mastered. I have enough of the little, awards on my desk on how to have successful profit calling. So I've done 2 things for you. One, I have a class you can come and learn how to do the exact same system that I use to be #1 in 10 countries, over 200,000 people. And then if you don't want to come hear me, you can just go to Amazon and you can get the success tracker for $35. And I videoed it, I've done a video recording in there for you. So there is things to help you platform. And then this year's new class is how to monetize your podcast, because that's a good thing to do as well. So anyways, you know where to find me. You know where things are at. Please reach out, give us your suggestions, and have the most incredible day, month, year. We're so cheering you on. You may not see us when you wake up in the morning, but just know energetically, we are here cheering you on. Here's the truth. When you succeed, we succeed. When we succeed, you're succeed. This is a new time. This is a new paradigm. And that was one great thing that came out of this whole last couple of years, was us grabbing onto each other and pushing each other up from the bottom and pulling each other up from the top. That for sure, in the 30 years I've been an entrepreneur, has changed. You no longer need to earn your wings. You just need to learn new skills. So hopefully you've picked up something here today. I love you. I bless you. Be groovy, and we'll see you next week. Thank you, everybody, for coming.